Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1830, Rest and Relaxation. I can cross that one off. Hope you all had a super fantastic sparkling day. Sorry we're on so late. I was resting and relaxing so much I totally lost track of time. Looked up and went, oh, we have a show to do. So I said to Zeffie, we got a show to do. So she's behind me on the floor. I'm getting a little camera shy. So I hope you've all had a great day. It has been an awesome day here. I woke up feeling better than I did yesterday, but still not 100%. So I decided instead of doing the yard work today that I was supposed to do out front there, I was just going to leave it. And because by the time I got back from the walk and I'd had breakfast and I was sort of like thinking, should I go do it? Should I not go do it? Head was a little heady in the head. And I was just like, yeah, it was already 99 degrees outside and I was like, and like 40% humidity. And I was like, no. So that was a very easy decision to make. So we just spent the day just kicking back and relaxing, got some reading done, got the urge to write. So I did some of that and was just watching, what are we watching now? The series we're watching, Your Honor. It's called Your Honor and it's on, I think it's on Netflix. But it's really cool. It's 20 episodes. There's 20 parts. They actually call they've got the episodes listed and it's got part 1, part 2, blah, 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 blah. And it's about this kid who is involved in a hit and run and he's the son of a judge. And it all takes place in New Orleans. And it turns out the kid that he hit in the hit and run belonged to some mob boss. So they're going through the thing and the father who is the judge is helping this help the son hide it. And it's just snowballing and everybody's in everybody else's faces and things are coming unraveled and then they wind them back up again and then they become unraveled over here. And it's just a lot of, it's really good. But of course, when I'm watching stuff, I like to keep my hands busy. So wasn't up to doing any crochet. It's just too damn hot to do crochet right now. Because I'm always doing like rugs and things like not rugs. Throw rugs. I'm always doing like throw rugs and it's just too hot to have that on your lap. So had the coloring book there and I got a big thing of gel pens and a big thing of colored pencils and just having fun with that. And so just keeping the hands busy and watching what's going on, doing the coloring as well. So yeah, it's all fun. And that's basically been our day. We've read, we've napped, we've written, we've done some writing, we've done some coloring. It's been a very nice, relaxing day. And now I'm feeling almost 100%, not quite 100%, but we're getting there. And I know I've got to go for a walk this evening. Yes. But it has clouded over some, so the sun's not out, for which I'm thankful. And in about an hour, it's going to be setting. So in about 45 minutes, we'll go for a walk. And hopefully it'll be a little cooler and the sun will be down behind the hills, which will make it a little cooler walking on the grass and things like that. So what sort of things do you do on days of rest and relaxation when you just decide to, oh, God, this stupid thing. Sorry, I got this Excel stuff that's popping up on my screen. So what do you like to do on rest and relaxation days? That's good to take a day off. This is the first time I actually had to turn the computer on to get on to do this because I sat down, got to turn everything on. So yes, it's the first time I've been online today. So that's been like, yay. Haven't even been I was on it earlier today. Yeah, like early this morning. But that's about it. So what do you like to do on your days off? I like to unplug where I can, like not get on the computer, stay offline. Watching TV, watching shows and movies is okay. I don't do the channels that have ads on them. I just want to binge watch. Didn't feel like watching a movie. And but we just, I was thinking about going for a drive, but it was too hot outside to go for a drive because I know that getting in the car, we have to wait for the car to cool down and stuff like that. And yeah, it's miserable. So I just didn't. So like, well, we could go for a drive, but where would we go for a drive to? We just go for a drive around and then just come back here. We wouldn't actually stop anywhere because it'd be too hot to get out. Like if I took Zeffie to the dog park, it'd be way too hot for her to be running around. Because we had a high of 115 today. And you're going to want to know, and my metric people, You don't want to know what that is in Celsius. It is 46 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it was a little on the warm side to be going out and taking Zeffy to the dog park. So good. She didn't recognize the word. Sometimes she puts her head up and just like looks at you. So yeah, it was a little too, although she insisted on going out around lunchtime to lay in the backyard. I got a crazy dog. It doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. She wants to go out and lay in the sun. And early in the morning when we get back from a walk, she wants to go out and run around, which is fine because it burns off the energy. And then while I'm having breakfast, she wants to go and lay out on the patio in the sun. And then in the afternoon around lunchtime, while I'm having lunch, she wants to go outside. But of course, there's no sun on the patio at that point. So she goes and lays in the backyard where the sun is. It could be, I looked at her and I went, it's 109 degrees outside. You're not going outside. And she just like looked at the door and looked back at me and I'm, you got 2 minutes. So yeah, try to limit her time out there. And then of course, get into the afternoon when it gets even hotter and the sun starts coming in on the corner of the patio, on the west side of the patio. It is a covered patio, but the sun just starts coming in on that corner piece and she wants to go and lay in the sun at that point too. And it's like 115 degrees outside and she wants to go lay in the sun. Crazy dog, I tell you. Crazy dog. But she only stays out there like a couple. Oh, my face is very shiny tonight. Must be that beautiful moisturizer I was using today. You got this really cool vitamin E cream. Oh, it's delicious. Gives me that youthful glow. But let's see, what else can you do? Yeah, it's pampering day too. So you can, pamper yourself on a rest and relaxation day. Unplug is always a good thing. If you've got family around, play some board games. Do some stuff together. Build a fort. Oh my gosh, I haven't done that in years. Maybe I'll do that next time I'm out looking after the grandkids. We'll build a fort in the family room. One of those blanket ones. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be fun. I haven't done one in years. Oh, I've never done one with the grandkids. Might have to do that. Yes, I think we might build a fort when I next go out to California and babysit the grandkids. I might do some fort building with blankets and chairs and cushions and things. Yeah, that's always fun. I'm just thinking, I'm just like, the brain's just going, because I've been writing today. I had the urge to write. I have not had the urge to write for a while. And so today when I got the urge to write, it was sort of like, okay, let's get writing. And it was good. I didn't get as much written as I thought I would, but I got started, which is the main thing. I got started and writing again today, and it was awesome to be there and writing again. And you never know what's going to come out of that. I still got all those books buzzing around in my head, and then I would do things like create an image using AI, and then I'd dump it into like ChatGPT and say, describe this picture, just come up with a description for this picture, and it'll come for a description. I'm like, that kind of sounds like a story. So I said, this kind of sounds like a story. So let's get some characters, let's get an outline going. Let's get, what's the physical description of each character, and, give me all the character information, like their age, their physical description, their traits, where they went to school, what what they do now, what age, what age are they in the story. So I have ChatGPT come up with all these ideas, and then I say, okay, now I need a plot outline, and I need, a summary for the whole book, and then I need, let's make it X number of chapters, and I want a plot summary for each chapter, because it gives me the idea, and I'm like, oh, that would be a really cool idea. And I start thinking of things, and I start typing them into ChatGPT, and it spits everything else out for me. So basically, all I have to do is just go in and write each chapter. The outline's already there. Just go in and fill in the blanks and write in the chapter. So I've got a whole bunch of those. But guess what? So was it yesterday we were talking about? No, it was Friday when we were talking about the realization. So Friday was realization day, wasn't it? Where I had that epiphany about fantasies and sci-fi and that. All the books that ChatGPT have come up with have all been sci-fi based. And I'm like, well, this will be interesting since I haven't read a lot of sci-fi. I've watched a lot of sci-fi movies and things, but I haven't read a lot of sci-fi. So I thought, well, this will be interesting, become a sci-fi author. Because then you can make up your own worlds and your own things in this. That's kind of cool. So, but I do have other ideas I'm going to throw into ChatGPT and go, hey, I have this idea, blah, 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 blah. And I've actually went into the AI image maker program that I use and have started typing things into there to get images. And when I get the right image, then I'll drop that into ChatGPT and say, describe this, and see what it comes up with, and say, okay, this picture is for a book that I'm writing, and here's the idea for the book. now give me and here's my characters, names, this is their roles in the book, because I do have a lot of stuff already written for the book series that I've had in mind for like years, all from doing a 1,500-piece jigsaw puzzle. I came up with an entire book series. And then when I was, and then in 2019, when I was driving around the US with mum and dad, when we did our big road trip on the west coast of the US, I had this other idea, which was a spin-off from that original idea. And I already had a spin-off from the original idea, which I came up with while I was in Alaska. In March of 2018, I hadn't, because the original book series, I came up with that idea back in 2015 or 16, somewhere around there. Brad was still alive at the time, and I told him about it, and he says, that sounds good. Go write it. I went, okay. I don't know where to start. Then in March 2018, May of 2018, when I was on my first cruise after Brad had passed, I was in Alaska, and I was in Ketchikan, and I was reading all the stuff about the history of Ketchikan and Creek Street and everything else, and this idea just went inside my head. So part of the time when I was on the cruise, I was writing down notes about these ideas that had come up, and I was taking all sorts of pictures of different things. They had these boards up all over the place with all the different stories on. That's how I found out that, it used to cost 50 cents a nip. Is it 50 cents a nip? Yeah, 50 cents a nip. And a nip was half a teaspoon of booze, or hooch as they called it. And, so I got all these different story ideas just started bombarding me. And so I was taking notes the whole time I was in LA, and that was in Ketchikan. That was the first stop. I still had Juneau and Skagway to go, and then Victoria, although I did not get off the ship in Victoria. I decided to stay on the ship in Victoria. Got to see Victoria later on in 2019 when my parents and I did a day trip from Vancouver across to Victoria. We did a tour package where we did Burchard Gardens, then went down into Victoria. We had like 3 hours in Victoria, and then we got back on the bus, and it took us back to the ferry, and then back to the RV. But yeah, it was a fabulous day out. It was an awesome day out. But on the cruise, I'm busy taking more notes. And so then I was going via the visitor center. When we got to Juneau, found the visitor center there and went and picked up some brochures. Then some of them had history stuff. And when I got to Skagway, they had a walking history tour through Skagway. So I picked up that and some other bits and pieces. And so I've got these brochures that describe the history of the time and that place. There was a couple of books I picked up along the way, which all has a history around that place. And if you go onto the Ketchikan Visitors site, there's a site that Ketchikan has, and this site is, I have to tell you, it is awesome. They have it's Ketchikan Visitors Guide or Visitors Site or Tourist Site. It's one of those sites that gives you the history of Ketchikan. And they have done all of these videos that go, I think the longest one's like 40 minutes, I think. But they're all these like short videos and things on different things about Ketchikan and its history. And they're interviewing the people who live in Ketchikan. And it even says, 3rd generation Ketchikanian, 4th generation Ketchikanian. They had this one woman there who was 104, 103, 104, somewhere around there. She was a centurion. She was over 100 years old, let me put it that way. And then, of course, at the end of the videos, they would put these outtakes from that particular video. This woman she was a 1st generation Ketchikanian. She was over 100 years old when they did these videos, and she was a gem. I have to tell you, she was hilarious. But they had all these different stories that said, you've heard this story about how you may have read this story in the paper. Well, this is the truth behind the story and how it happened, and it kind of got blown out of proportion in the newspaper, like media does. And this is the actual story behind that myth. You've heard this myth about this woman getting slapped in the face with a fish. Well, she actually did get slapped in the face with a fish. It's not a myth; it's a real story. And so they would demystify some of the myths. But they were talking about the history of Ketchikan. It was really, really cool, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to go back and watch them all again because just absolutely brilliantly done videos. The Ketchikanian Tourism Board did a phenomenal job on these videos, or Visitors Bureau, whatever they want to call themselves. But the outtake I love the most is because they show you all the outtakes at the end of each video. And they had this one there where they had this woman who was like 103, 104, and she goes that what did she say? I'm going to paraphrase this. She said something like, there's these old buildings here that are younger than I am, and they call them historic. I just cracked up. That was the best line ever. She's over 100 years old, and she says, they've got all these old buildings here, and they call them historic. Surprised she didn't say, so what does that make me? I would have added on to that. So what does that make me? But no, she didn't say that. She just said, they've got some buildings here that are younger than I am, and they call them historic. I thought that was brilliant. It was the best line of the whole thing. But they even talk about the stories and how some of these myths got started about Ketchikan and things like that. But absolutely love Ketchikan. I actually want to go up there and just spend like a week there and just wander around and visit some of the local businesses and things like that. That's on my list to do at some point, and just go in and visit. Just go find somewhere to stay in Ketchikan, make my base there for a week or two, and just spend time walking around the local villages and the local town area, and going into the local businesses and just chit-chatting with people. And because this book idea came from when I walked down Creek Street. Now, I didn't do any of the tours on Creek Street and stuff, but I'd like to go back and do some of those tours and just get more of the history that way as well. And just talk with some of the tour guides and things. I think that would be awesome. And then just because I have this idea for a story base that starts in Ketchikan but takes place in, I haven't decided where yet. I've got to figure out a fictional town and figure out where I'm going to put this fictional town. And they're going to have the two time periods. One chapter will be based in Ketchikan and what happened after that, and then the other one will be based in present day. So you've got the historic story and the present day story, and they're running simultaneously through the book. As the present day finds that information, we'll go back in time to find out what the actual story was behind that information that they found. So you're going to have two stories running through the book that eventually come to one story and a discovery. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I've got 3 or 4 versions of the first chapter for that book. But then I've got like about 3 different plot ideas for that one book. So it's, yeah. But anyway, so that's, so I'm glad to be back writing again. It's kind of like something had been missing, and I got back to that writing thing again, and it's been awesome. So yeah. If you ever get the urge to write, just go write. Just sit down. Even if you start off with, it was a dark and stormy night. I did that once. I looked at my friend who's an author, and she says, how do I get started? She says, just sit down and write. It was a dark and stormy night. I looked and went, really? She goes, trust me. I mean, okay. And I do trust her. And so we did that. But it was really cool because she had this scene playing in her head that she told me about. And so then we were brainstorming ideas about that. And so every now and again, I send her a note, go, you done anything with that scene? And she says, no. She says, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with it. But, we sat down and we had dinner together one night when we met up in Vegas because we're at the same training thing. And it was a really cool scene that she had put out that she had an idea for. And so we just brainstormed ideas. It was awesome. Yeah. So then I told her about my series and what I wanted to do, but I said, I got no idea where to start. And so she says, just start with It Was a Dark and Stormy Night. I know it's many people start with that, but there's a lot of books out there that have different writing prompts in them. So if you have the urge to write, but you're not sure what to write, just get one of those writing prompt books, or even just Google writing prompts. And there's a whole bunch of them that are online as well. Pick one that speaks to you and just start writing it. Some of them will like start off a sentence and you got to finish the sentence and then just keep going. So yeah, those are pretty good too. But anyway, so we're back to writing again, which I am absolutely stoked about. We'll see where that goes. Anyway, I'm out of here. I've got to get back to the TV series Your Honor and see where that's going to go. I think I'm up to episode. What am I up to? Part 6, part 7. They're like 45-minute episodes. I think I'm up to 6 or 7. I don't remember which. Might be 7. Because I think I started on 4 when I started watching it this afternoon. So anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Let us know in the comments what things you like to do to rest and relax. And with that, we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And I know we don't have any guests this week, but we've got guests coming on next week, the following week. So go out, have a super fantastic